Okay, we're ready for some questions?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Hi, my name is Rachel, and I was wondering what it was like to work with Loki on set.
Well, Loki and Tom are two different people. And, they're both slightly insane, but in a very good way. Most of my favourite stuff is working with Tom. You know, whether it's in Avengers or Thor, and he's, you know, that's why you love him. He's incredible on screen and just so much fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How did that charisma or that dynamic gel? Because, you know, two actors coming on set, how'd you guys kind of develop that relationship?
We were both just like two big kids, you know. We had the same love for acting and for these comic books and these characters as each other, and just had fun with it. You know, every day was a joy. None of it ever felt like work. And also started, you know, in our careers at the same time. And this was Thor was the biggest thing I'd ever been a part of, and for Tom. So we both had that sort of appreciation and enjoyment.
Yeah. And speaking of big things to be a part of, I just want to take a moment to say your lovely wife and yourself look great at the Oscars, and a big congratulations on your coming attraction, twins, right?
It's going to get a whole lot busier in my house. So very exciting. Hopefully they're holding on and they're not coming right now, because they're in LA and I'm here.
Then you have to leave, yeah.
I have to run out of this panel, which I don't want to do.
Yes, sir.
I had two questions, actually. First one was, how did you get into SAG-AFTRA? And the second question is, what do you use to get the character?
Well, we're going to actually stick with that first question because we've got a lot of people to get through.
What was the first one? How do I what?
How did you get into SAG-AFTRA?
Oh, well, I mean, just got the job. Got a job, you know, any job. And then it sort of, I think it was Star Trek, I think, one of the first things I did in the States, and that sort of got me in the door. Yeah. So, and then getting into character, you know, depends what it is. I mean, research, and in this case, Thor has just read as many comic books as I could, and had, you know, great people to work with and bounce off, and yeah.
And channel,
and channel the thunder god. Yeah.
Thank you.
Spent a lot of time in the rain, in the storm.
Hi there.
Hi, I have a question on the Frankly Chat app here that a lot of people are wondering. What kind of conditioner do you use?
Hard-hitting questions here, Chris.
Whatever my wife's got in the bathroom. I can't say I have a favourite conditioner or a brand that I'd like to plug at the moment. L'Oreal.
Hi, Chris. Thanks for joining us here. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for coming.
And I was wondering, was there ever like a big mistake that you made on set or anything like that where you thought, man, I'm never going to recover from this, but you totally did?
Just about every day. I think it's just sort of a natural thing as an actor to think you're never going to get hired again, and each thing you do feels like somewhat of a mistake. But that's kind of the fun, you know. It's got to be a risk, and many things don't work, and I think in amongst them, the things that do end up being, you know, the special moments, hopefully. But me and Tom did a big fight scene one time, and he's told this story many times because he likes to have a little whinge about it, a little cry. But I accidentally elbowed him in the nose, and rivers of blood, as he explains it. He had like rivers of tears. It was a mistake, though, so yes.
You didn't actually mean to.
I'm not sure, maybe I did. It was annoying me a little like that. Subconsciously, maybe it happened.
Note to self, don't piss you off right now. Okay. Hi.
First, I want to say you're very beautiful. My question is, when you spend quality time with your brothers, what do you guys like to do for fun? Do you have any hobbies?
Yeah, we surf a lot, and we grew up in the bush in Australia and got into all sorts of trouble and spent all the time kind of hurting each other accidentally. We had all sorts of like rope swings and motorbikes and things that we'd entertain ourselves with, and all sorts of dangerous contraptions. But yeah, we hang out. I mean, these days it's just kind of hang out. We don't see much of each other. You know, Liam's shooting Hunger Games in Atlanta at the moment, and I'm in LA. My old brother Luke travels around too, so normal stuff.
Well, you did get together for that Kimmel bit, the Bitman Begin, which was great. How did that come about?
Jimmy Kimmel's a friend of mine and called me up and asked if we wanted to do it. And I said, yeah, sure. We didn't really know what we were getting ourselves into. But it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, you can catch it online. Hi.
Hi. Also, this is a great honor because you're my favorite superhero.
Oh, you're my favorite fan.
My question is, who is your favorite superhero? Not superhero, villain for Marvel.
Is it Loki, maybe? That's the obvious one. Let me think.
There's so many to choose from. That whole universe of them.
What's I should know this. Who's the female devil from hell? What's her name?
Oh, not Mephistopheles.
Hela.
I can't pronounce it. You made that up, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
Scarlet Witch is pretty awesome. And Loki. There you go.
And Loki,
Loki
yeah.
was also a girl in some of the comic books. So maybe, maybe her.
But she cries less than Tom. She cries less than Tom.
You've probably heard this 1,000 times. You are extremely sexy. My question is, can you do any impressions like Tom thinks you can?
Tom?
Like any impression at all?
No, he's the dancer, and have you seen him dance?
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting, isn't it? And sing? No, not really. I know Tom used to make this sound every time we'd have a fight scene, and he'd say to me, every time I threw a punch, I'd be like, and he'd go, and his sound was, I don't know what it was, but it kind of went like this. It was like, it probably sounds like something grabbed a cat. I said, what is that, Tom? He said, I don't know, it comes out of me. What do I do?
Thank you.
That's my talking to fight scene impression.
I was actually wondering how much of the mythology you actually read before you became Thor.
Ken Branagh gave me a big book on Norse mythology right when just before we started shooting, and then obviously a lot of comic books and what have you. And the big thing I took away was the fatalistic kind of way that the Vikings lived, and they lived as though every day or every battle could potentially be their last, but it was all preordained, and if they were to die this day, then so be it. So they went out with this fearlessness, and that was what we, kind of blended into Thor's attitude to fighting and to everything he did, which was, might be his last day or his last moment. So give it everything he could, and it was fascinating stuff.
I just wanted to say that you bring Thor great honor by your performance.
Thanks a lot.
Actually, in addition to Thor, Rush was a great, compelling movie. Really dug it. Everybody see Rush out there? Yeah! Did you, it didn't seem like Hunt was a hero or a villain in it, and Lauda was never a hero or a villain. Was that the intention going in, that you didn't quite know who to root for?
That was the true story, between these two characters, that they were had completely different approaches to life and to the sport. One was a playboy rock star and full of risk. The other one was the mathematician and absolutely calculated everything he did, but equally as talented. And when reading up on these two characters, you didn't know who you wanted to win. There were things you could fault about both of them and things you could love. And but that was a lot of fun playing, especially trying to fit into the Formula One car. I just finished Avengers, and so I had to, not eat and run and sweat and try to slim down. We had to take the seat out of the car, and I was just sitting basically in the chassis of the car on the engine. So it's not very comfortable for me. Cocooned in there, but it was cool.
Are most Formula One drivers kind of small dudes then, or is that?
Yeah, well, the guy I played was actually quite tall, but a lot thinner than I was at the time. I got skinny eventually, but initially it was tricky. Yeah. Most of them were initially pretty small, I think.
Yes.
Actually, again, with the Frankly Chat app, and actually on the subject of Rush, how many of the driving stunts did you do yourself?
We did a lot, as much as they let us without us, potentially killing ourselves and the film being put on hold. Recast. It's kind of bad for business, and me if I was dead. But we did a lot, We had cameras kind of attached to our helmets and in our visors, holes drilled in so the cameras could sit there and get big close-ups of her eyes, and then they'd strap cameras all around the car, and we'd whip around the track and try not to crash. And it was cool. But we had, you know, incredible stunt team as well to do the really high-end, risky stuff.
Hi there.
Sup?
What's up?
So I wanted to say, first of all, that I think you are the underdog of the Avengers. You should get more appreciation out there.
Those Avengers, they don't respect me, do they? Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm going to tell them.
and you should get more scenes there. So I'm just asking. I was asking for Avengers 2. Do you have much more than you did for the first film?
I hope so. I'm going to send them this interview. This
Little interaction, right?
But Josh, he thinks so.
Yeah. Listen to this guy. He's got a good idea.
Everything in Avengers is ramped up, though. It's kind of blew me away reading it, and I didn't know how Josh does it, but everyone has just gone up another notch, and the whole thing is bigger and more insane and crazy, and yeah, he's a genius, Josh. Yeah.
I think there's a few Josh names. Actually, when you guys are filming in Albuquerque, at the end of the day, you've got all these Avengers, all these excellent actors around. Was there like text messages at the end of the night, like we're in Albuquerque, let's go hang out?
Yeah, and in fact, Chris Evans very early on in the shoot sent us all a text message and said, meet us at the Rose Bar on such and such street at 9 a.m. Avengers assemble. And we all went, did he just say that? And then he wrote, did I just say that? Yes. So we all assembled. And he was the only one in costume, so that was all of us on the dance floor. That was an interesting night.
You guys dance. Wait,
the Avengers dance, oh yeah.
Who is the best dancing Avenger? I have to ask this.
I'll say Scarlet.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, my name is Nancy, and I have a crazy question for you.
Sure.
I saw an interview with Tom Hiddleston on MTV, and they asked him if he had ever seen you naked.
Right.
And he said yes. He said that you sent him a picture of yourself with your son, and he didn't elaborate. And I was wondering if you could elaborate on why.
I think we should get Tom here to elaborate.
Yeah.
I don't remember this.
This is going in an interesting direction.
There's a couple of flaws there. For starters, my son. I don't have a son.
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe Tom wishes. Maybe Tom wishes he would send him naked.
He says he saw you naked. I just wanted to see if you could explain.
You know what? His dressing room was next to mine, so we made her drill a hole in the wall.
Thank you.
That's fair.
I think we can probably squash that rumor. Yeah.
Let's get him here. Where is he?
All right. Yeah.
Thanks, Tom.
Yes, sir.
No, by the way.
Hello, Mr. Hemsworth. I think that you pull off Thor so well, just like how I believe Robert Downey Jr. pulls off Iron Man so well. And I don't know anyone who could ever replace you as Thor. I mean,
except Downey.
And I
switch roles in the next one.
Without calling it out, just awkwardly.
That's right. He'll have a long blonde wig on, and I'll just I'll be in a nice suit or something.
And I actually have a request.
Sure.
Okay, tread carefully, because we're going for questions and we don't have a lot of time. So, is there a question?
Well, okay. Well, I was wondering, it's because I love to act and I love performing monologues, and I was hoping if we can do a duet monologue of Bitman Begins, but just at the very end.
I'm going to answer for Chris on that. No offense, but no. No, we just don't have time.
I can't remember my lines from them. We'll have to rehearse first.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
next time.
Yeah. Be back next year.
It's on YouTube, though. Yeah. Thanks, buddy. Next time, I promise.
She's wearing a Thor shirt, so I think she's a fan.
Hello.
Yes, hi.
How are you?
Very nervous.
Doing great.
So my question is, what is your favorite scene that you did in Thor: The Dark World?
Probably the escape scene in the kind of spaceship thing. When me, Loki, and Jane were all trying to escape Asgard. That was funny. It reminded me of being in the back seat with my brothers, telling each other how to drive and criticising what each other did. And it felt like, it was a throwback to the Star Wars, those kind of chase scenes. For us anyway, that was what I got excited about. So that was one of the fun ones. And then the big fight scene at the end, going from different worlds, and we had so many different sets to shoot that in, and a lot of wire, harness stunt gags and things, which were awesome. And we shot in Iceland, and we had to roll down the cliff, which was part volcanic rock, so that wasn't so much fun. It was a little bit uncomfortable, but that end sequence as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi. I was just wondering how much you attribute your role in Thor to your success now.
Oh, everything. I think it was before I got Thor. I was living in LA and not being able to coming close to not being able to pay the rent. I was about to go back home and back on mum and dad's couch, back in Australia, and then I got Thor, so I could pay the rent, and was able to stay here, and it kicked off everything and opened up all the opportunities for me. So yeah, everything.
Thank you.
Thor helped him pay the rent.
And meet you fine people.
Hi.
Hi. I enjoy acting a lot, and I was wondering what advice you would give to people who would like to pursue acting as a career.
Just try and be involved in it as much as you can. We're acting classes and drama school, and audition as much as you can, and make your own projects if you can. Shoot short films, and it's easy to kind of sit around and wait for the phone to ring as an actor, and that's that's the toughest part as well. It's not as easy as being, say, a musician where you can just pick up a guitar and play. It's hard to practice. But if you find people who also have an interest and a passion for it, then just keep at it.
Thank you.
Good question.
Hi, my name's Nicole, and I just wanted to say that you're just such an inspirational actor. Thank you so much for your work. My question for you is, what is the worst part about wearing the Thor costume?
It's hot. It's so hot. It's so heavy and pretty uncomfortable too. It's really hard to get off. If you need to go to the bathroom quickly, that's not good. We have this kind of cooling vest that goes under the suit, and it has a hose basically that hangs off the side, and you can tuck it into the scenes. But in between the scenes, you plug it into this machine which pumps freezing cold water through this vest because it is incredibly hot, especially when we shot in Albuquerque. It was 100 degrees or something. It felt intense. Yeah.
Thank you. Was there ever a time where they wanted you to wear the helmet more?
The problem is you get falling off, and it's a pretty clumsy thing, and it would kind of look cool in moments, there was, we did that in the first film, and then it became it added extra time with everything, and you'd be swinging the hammer and you'd break off the wings, or it would fall forward and smash me in the nose. So it was just kind of clumsy,
Yeah.
It looks cool though. Bring it back. One guy likes it.
Yeah, I know. The helmet contingent is in the house. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Jasmine. I just wanted to say that you are amazing, and I am a freelance journalist. My photographer and I drove 6 hours to come see you.
Oh,
so I absolutely love you. But my question is, what is your favorite part about being an A-list celebrity? Is it the conventions? Is it the money? I don't know, Stan Lee loves money. So what is your favorite part about being an actor of your stature?
If I was attributing it to Thor, and I think, I've done other films before and TV and what have you, but never had the kind of fans I've had before I, was a part of this. And I'd say absolutely, coming to things like this and meeting people who know more about the character than you do, and and that sort of that kind of die-hard support is unlike anything I've ever been a part of. And so that's probably the most special thing.
And one last thing, it would complete my world if one day, someday, I can get a one-on interview with you. Just throwing it out.
We got it right now.
Just
Yeah, she's using a couple of yeah, this just happened. So
Thank you.
thank you.
I'm Felicia, and my birthday is on 14th, and can I get a shout out?
Happy birthday, Alicia.
Felicia.
Felicia, happy birthday, Felicia, on the 14th.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Everyone sing happy birthday, ready? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you.
Well,
Hi, my name is Heather, and I was wondering, when you were reading the script for Cabin in the Woods, were you as surprised as us when you could survive a zombie family but then crash and die in a bus?
I remember getting to that page and thinking, I'll survive this, hang on. And then kind of racing through the script and be like, oh, I'm really dead. I'd already signed the contract, so I couldn't leave. I did, I kept thinking I'd come back. I was like, Joss, come on.
something we can do about
I'll
that.
back out of the mud.
Hi, thank you so much for my photo, Chris.
No worries.
I was wondering, is it really hard to kiss on screen with like actors you've known for a long time, or actors you just like have known for a little bit?
It's all pretty awkward, you know, because there's often 100 people standing around and cameras and all sorts of things, and you might do it like 100 times, and so it becomes very technical and kind of strange, and you feel like a kid, you know.
Yeah, that's all.
Just me and Natalie just got giggles all the time, and you know, it's supposed to be this heavy romantic scene, and we're just laughing through the kiss. It's awkward.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh wow, hey, Thor is actually in the house.
What's your favorite part about playing Thor?
Being able to summon the storms and lightning and thunder and fly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
She's coming after you.
She is.
Yeah.
Hi, what is the most challenging or memorable scene you remember, like, in your entire career?
Working with Anthony Hopkins the first time was probably the biggest highlight for me, and you know, very early on for me as well. It was, at that point, he was by far someone that I looked up to the most, and to be on set with was just incredible. And the scene where he banishes me from Asgard in the first film, I just kept forgetting my lines because I was just watching him in awe. Yeah.
Thank you. Was it intimidating taking on like the legacy of Thor, of this character, and when did you feel like, okay, I am Thor now? I can just today, right? As I was asking that question, right?
That's right. Yeah. It was, and to be honest, I didn't. Before coming into the film, I didn't know much about the character. I knew a little bit, but I never really read the comic books in any great detail, and didn't really understand the sort of following to it. Especially of the Avengers, and I thought, here's a comic book, and a few people like it, and then you start to realise, there's a massive fan base, and they're hardcore fans, and going to Comic-Con in San Diego for the first time, we introduced the clip, and it was the first thing that anyone had seen in the movie, and the first time I'd seen anything that we'd shot, and there was thousands of people watching, and everyone was blown away, and big applause, and that was a big moment for me of going, oh wow, like look what I'm a part of, and realising how big the fan base was, and not upset them or let them down because they might kill me.
Not in Sacramento though. You guys are nice.
No, just in San Diego.
Hi there.
Hi. Sorry, I can't move my legs.
Don't faint.
Dance on the spot.
Other than Tom Hiddleston, which of your other cast members do you spend the most time with?
I don't know. I probably see Downey a bit. He lives near me, but a lot of us kind of disappear onto other projects, and most of the time you don't see each other until the next one. I'm really excited to, we start Avengers in
2 months, and to get back on set. We're all going to meet in London and shoot there, and for 4 months. So I'm excited to get back together with everyone and hang out and catch up.
I can't wait. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're awesome.
Thank you. You too. You're awesome. You're awesome. You're awesome too.
Hi.
I have another question in the Frankly chat app. What are your future projects you're working on that we can see coming soon?
I did a movie with Michael Mann last year, which is all a thriller and all deep in the cyber world, the cyber terrorism world, and is a pretty intense, detailed look at that world. And Michael Mann is just a sort of detail, and I'm sure you've seen many of his films. So that's coming out, I think, at the end of the year or next year. And then I did another film with Ron Howard called In the Heart of the Sea, which was based on the book. It was the true events that inspired Herman Melville to write Moby Dick. So it's that adventure story, but the true version of it. And that was a lot of fun. We shot last year, and we're in the Canary Islands shooting, which was beautiful. It's a giant whale attacks a whaling ship. These guys get lost at sea for 90 days, and it's pretty intense. So they both come out around Christmas time, I think, or next year.
Is Ron Howard like a really hands-on type director, or does he let you just sort of find your voice and go with it?
A bit of both, He obviously comes to the table with all of his expertise and experience, but is very welcoming and arms open to new ideas and other people's opinions. So he's very collaborative like that. Some directors will come in and say this is how it is and this is the target, whereas he's a lot more free-flowing.
Yeah.
In the Avengers movie, is there any scenes that you would regret doing?
That I did regret, or the new one, or the old one?
The old one.
The old one? No, I love that movie. Especially being punched in the head by the Hulk.
Thank you.
No, I love working on that. That was the first time I'd met all those actors and those characters, and I think for all of us it was a real pinch yourself moment, going, wow, this is actually happening.
Yeah. Hi there.
Hi. In the Dark World, when you put on your hammer on the hanger,
oh, yeah?
do you think it's going to fall off or something?
Well, you know how we're rehearsing that scene, and I walked into the door, and I was sort of standing there going, God, what does Thor do when he walks into a house? What does he do with his hammers? He's standing there, and I sort of jokingly hung it up on the hook, and a few people in the crew started laughing, and then I said, oh, we should do that in the scene, and then everyone was like, no, actually, yeah, do it. So, I'm glad we did it. It was a funny moment, but it felt strange being in that costume in a normal house, not in Asgard.
Thank you.
It seemed very practical to hang it up on. But yes, I was worried it wasn't going to rip. It should have ripped the wall out, technically. The hook was worthy, that's true. She writes all my jokes.
What is your favorite movie you ever played in?
What do you think? Cool.
Just your favorite movie ever?
My favorite movie? Never Ending Story. Terminator 1. I remember as a kid watching that. What else? Labyrinth.
Chris Hemsworth, you are a nerd, alright?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I think you need to get a luck dragon. Can we make that happen?
I do it. It's outside. That's how we got here.
Dragons everywhere. Hi there.
Hi. I don't know if you remember me. My daughter and I tried to say hi to you earlier, but the main lady wouldn't let us.
Who did? That's why we got you in
My
here.
question is, us normal people kind of see action heroes and everything, and it's like the epitome of what an actor would dream to play. Was there something, or is there something that you wish to partake in, or a role that you would find challenging?
Yeah, I mean it's all challenging, You want to make it as truthful as possible and and do it justice, especially something like Thor that comes with this kind of following. I mean, movies that I just named then, and so Lord of the Rings was, something I wished I could have been a part of. And as far as future projects, I don't know. I just want to, be inspired by the director and find something new, story-wise. But I remember as a teenager watching Lord of the Rings and being depressed that I didn't live in that world. It wasn't about being in the movie. I even reading that book and The Hobbit as a kid was, I love that world and that universe.
Thank you. And can you give a shout out to my daughter?
Yes, where is she? Hello.
Well, she had to leave.
She had to leave?
Yeah.
What's her name?
Anna Victoria.
Victoria. Hello, Victoria. I'm sorry you had to leave.
Thank you.
Get her back.
Hey Chris, thanks for coming out. My question is, if your acting career didn't pan out, or and you couldn't attend these cons like this as a celebrity, what would you be doing as an alternative career?
So parallel universe, Chris Hemsworth. What is he up to?
I don't know. In high school, I had a different idea every week. I was like, I want to be a doctor, or then a lawyer, or an athlete, or a police officer, And it was. I just realised I just had. I liked those jobs because I'd seen them in movies and they looked cool. So I really don't know. I don't know. My parents work for the Australian Childhood Foundation, which is an organisation for the protection of kids and prevention of child abuse, and that was something that I was thinking about going into just because I love the work that my parents do and inspired by what they did. But yeah, I don't know. I never had another option really. Just kind of threw all the eggs into this basket and hope for the best.
Awesome, thank you.
Yes, sir.
In the recent Star Trek reboot, you played James T. Kirk's father. Would you like to reprise that role? And if so, how would you do it?
Well, I don't know. I kept wondering if JJ was going to bring me back in some way and do another flashback. But it'd be strange now. You'd flash back to see his father and be older than when he was when he died. It'd be very strange.
It's timey-wimey stuff. Because you asked it.
We'll tell JJ.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The comedy in Thor is so spot on, but that character could easily be overbearing or too much to kind of digest. Was that a conversation that you guys had early on? That we have to make this very light at times?
Yeah, and tonally, from the first film, Ken Branagh set that up, and it was, thankful for that, that sort of foundation, that building block. And yeah, I think any of these films, the fantasy films, especially the Marvel films, what's so great is tonally, there's a great balance of humour which allows you to buy into that fantastical world. And no matter how, dramatic and big it gets, you're having a good time. It should feel like a roller coaster, and you should have a laugh. And we have great writers who've got to make sure they thread that in there, and we all have a great amount of fun doing it. And a lot of the, that humour then comes from that interaction on the set.
Does it make you want to go for a straight comic?
I'd like to, yeah. I'd love to do a comedy. Trying to find a good one.
Hi.
Hello, Chris. I'm Carla, and I wanted to know, if you don't mind answering, what is your favorite childhood memory?
My favourite childhood memory, probably surfing with my dad and brothers after school and before school, and sometimes when I should have been at school. That was, and you're at the age where kind of nothing else exists besides that at the moment, and that hobby, and that was probably my best memories.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. That's a nice question.
Yeah, thank you. That's a good question.
Hi there.
Sorry, I'm tall. I have to shrink. So I know you took a lot of pictures today. I wanted to know how many times you got asked to take your shirt off, and will you take your shirt off?
Yes, you'll take your shirt off. I didn't get asked, but and these buttons, I can't get them on. They're glued together. So.
That's true.
Sorry.
What's one of your most favorite things about acting?
Just the fantasy and make believe of it all, and it is like being a big kid again. It's reminds me of playing, especially Thor, in the backyard and imagining you're part of some other world, except the sets are a lot more expensive than my backyard was, and the weapons and the toys we get to play with are a lot cooler. But it's make believe. I think we're all big kids essentially, and anytime you get to drum that home yourself, it's a big bonus.
How old are you? 10.
10.
Has the impact sunk in that you were a nerd growing up? You had all these heroes in the movies that you're watching. Has it sunk in that you are now making this impact on this generation?
Yeah, I mean every time it blows you away. Really it doesn't get any more normal. It's just as exciting as the first time, and to think that there were people I looked up to and still are as a kid, and then now that doing that to someone else is a very special feeling.
Yeah, cool. Now we have the 5-minute warning, sir. You first off, thanks for giving the mic to the young lady there.
It's my pleasure. Kind of a quick question, actually. As an Australian living in America, do you have a favorite Australian thing or stereotype that you like to play up with? I don't know, even like a kind of a touristy thing. And don't say surfing.
Yeah.
We know you like it.
Besides traveling with a koala and a kangaroo, I ride a kangaroo to do auditions. Straight down the aisle. It's really busy in LA. I just bounce straight over. Kick the door down into the audition room.
You know a producer is trying to make that movie happen right now.
That's the next film. And Vegemite. Anyone ever had Vegemite?
Yes.
Yeah. See, people don't like Vegemite. I love it. And it's nothing funny, isn't it?
When I think you answered the question.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Tina.
Hello.
And I have a question. I was thinking, I often forget that you and Liam actually are from Australia. Sometimes in interviews I'm like, whoa, you have an Australian accent. But I was just curious to know if they base the people of Asgard, did they base their accent off of yours actually? I was curious about that.
Yes, Asgardians are traditionally from Australia.
That makes
Many thousands of years ago.
Some very upset Scandinavians out there now.
I wasn't sure if they hired you before they hired some of the others, so.
No, we all do sort of it's called mid-Atlantic sort of accent, which is kind of from nowhere. It's kind of the slight English kind of what Lord of the Rings, everyone sort of sounds neutral in some way, and that's what we all kind of aim for, just to find a generic kind of, similarity, I guess, because you can't do Nordic accents if you're speaking English. It doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
You can't do straight American or straight Australian, so we kind of invented an accent, I guess.
I see. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, little man.
If Loki was your brother, then why was he attacking you in the Avengers?
I know. This is not very nice of him. He's my half brother, and he was upset that he thought I had done him wrong in ways, but he was just misunderstood, I guess. Yeah. I didn't realise he had such a dislike of me. Well, and I'm not sure. He's a little bit evil, I think, and a little bit good. So that's a tough thing. Maybe keep forgiving him.
Do you have any brothers or sisters?
I have 2 sisters.
Same thing. Sometimes just get in a fight. Except in this case, Loki was trying to destroy the Earth. But
everything's just done a little bigger in Asgard, including the way they dress and the way they fight.
Good question, though.
Good question.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Brian. First of all, my wife and sister-in-law want me to tell you to say hi.
Hello.
With the Marvel universe expanding, the Marvel comic universe expanding, and including the television shows Agents of Marvel or Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., how much do you as a fan follow that and all the growing mythology and interconnected storylines?
Yeah, all of it. As I'm excited to see Captain America or Iron Man or Avengers as everyone else is. You know, I think we all came into it as a fan, and a fan of movies, and especially movies like this, and then after having shot the films, even more so. So yeah, I haven't seen much of S.H.I.E.L.D., but have seen all the other Marvel films, definitely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Are you in the loop on all the stuff that's going on? Like, do you get memos about, oh, by the way, don't talk about this because this thing's happening?
A little bit, yeah. And the way they all sort of connect. Yeah. You start reading the script going, wait, what am I doing this? It's like, oh yeah, because in this episode of S.H.I.E.L.D. we said this about you, or Captain America, they're going to do this, and so it all does sort of connect in one big elaborate puzzle.
Cool. And you can tell us all that, right?
Yeah. What did I miss up?
I was just wondering, through the Avenger movies, was it hard learning to fight with a hammer? Like, did you ever wish you had a different weapon?
Yeah, it's a pretty silly weapon. Really top heavy, and you know, it's we kind of had to invent a fighting style, you know, and it became almost a bit like boxing. It was sort of an extension of your arm, but it's pretty clumsy. Yeah, I mean, it can split the earth in half, so that's not. You
don't want to mess around with that kind of thing.
It helps you fly.
Okay, I think unfortunately we don't have time for any more questions, but I do want to say, Sacramento, you guys are awesome. Thanks for coming to Wizard World.